I think we're online now. So, thank you everyone for joining us today. So, today is the 15th symposium in English, and today's is about Australia and New Zealand culture. So, today we are joined by two tutors, Sheriff Antonio and Megan, who will present us respectively Australia and New Zealand. So, 皆さん、大変お待たせいたしました。カフェトークのあゆはです。カフェトークの第15回の、英語のシンポジウムが始まります。本日は、シャリーフ・アントニオ先生と、メガン先生は、オーストラリアとニュージーランドの言語と文化も、についてお話ししたいと思います。コメントと、ご質問があればぜひチャットでよろしくお願いいたします。So, without further ado, let's start. Megan, thank you for joining us today. I will let you start now.
Okay, thank you very much for your kind introduction. So what I will do now is I will just share my screen so that everybody can see it, and then I'll bring my slideshow to the hopefully fingers crossed
Perfect.
everybody can see that.
Yes.
Perfect. We can see that. That's all good. Cool. And if I turn, yeah, very good. Okie dokie. So, thanks again for the wonderful introduction. So, my name is Megan, and I am very fortunate enough today to give you a quick fire round of information about New Zealand. So, just for everyone that's watching, my slides are in Japanese, but I will explain everything in English. So, hopefully, you can understand either way. But yeah, so the slides themselves are in Japanese. Um, Apologies if there's any small mistakes. I made them myself, and I'll explain everything in English. So this is just a little bit about me. I'm the one on the right hand side. The person on the left hand side is a New Zealand politician. Um, and my name is Megan Wilson. I'm 24 and I graduated from the University of Otago in New Zealand, which is in the South Island, and also the University of Tokyo on exchange in 2018. So I shall hide this little bit there. That should be better? So just a little bit about New Zealand, whereabouts it's located in comparison to Japan. So New Zealand is next to Australia, and the travel time from Auckland to Tokyo or Japan is around 11 hours. And the population of New Zealand has um, increased since I made this presentation, but it's sitting around 5 million. And the population of Hokkaido in the north part of Japan is around 5.3 million, which means the whole population of New Zealand can fit inside Hokkaido in the northern part of Japan, which is pretty cool. Um, and I think there might be a little bit of covering in the corner there, but this is the main spots of New Zealand. So New Zealand consists of two main islands. We have the North Island and the South Island. The capital is Wellington. So even though a lot of people know Auckland or have heard of Auckland before, the capital is actually Wellington. And then we have Christchurch, Queenstown, and Dunedin are also popular or well-known cities here in New Zealand. And on the left-hand side, we have the New Zealand flag. So we have the Union Jack in the corner there, and then we have the 4 stars, which represent the Southern Cross. So this is a little bit about Queenstown. And Queenstown is known as like the adventure capital of New Zealand, so known for adventure sports such as skydiving, bungee jumping, jet boating, that sort of the luge, that sort of thing. So I recommend it for anyone who wants to like get their adrenaline up or do something a little bit crazy. I recommend going there. And then we have my city. I'm from Christchurch, and Christchurch is known as the Garden City. We have a big park in the middle of the city called Hagley Park, and we have a lovely botanical gardens, which is really cool. And then this top picture here is New Regent Street, which is like a kind of old school sort of European vibes going on. And so this next slide is about the general makeup of the New Zealand population. So we're a pretty diverse population, which means we have a lot of people from different countries living in New Zealand. And so the majority is what we call New Zealand European, which make up 68.5% of the population. We then have 13.8% which are Māori, and then we have 10.9 which identify as Asian, and then we have 6.8 from the Pacific Islands, so like Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, Vanuatu, those sort of islands. The next slide is about the New Zealand's languages. So we have three national languages. We have English, we have Te Reo Māori, and then we have sign language. And so in New Zealand Sign Language, we have the top kind of right hand is at the top, left hand at the bottom, kind of like this sort of shape. So you could try it if you like to, just putting your hands in front of you like this sort of shape. That represents the word New Zealand or Aotearoa in New Zealand Sign Language. And then so like I said, on the right hand side, that's how you do it in sign language. On the left hand side, this is an example of Te Reo Māori, which is the like indigenous language of New Zealand. And this here is a proverb. So it is he aha te mea nui o te ao, he tangata, he tangata, he tangata, which means what is the most important thing in the world? It is people, it is people, it is people. So this is a very kind of popular message people use often in the start of speeches or at the end of speeches, just to say like to kind of captivate or to get the audience's attention. And so the next section, although this is supposed to be all in English, we've got a little bonus section which is learning 4 words in Te Reo Māori. So I have put the name of the word and then how to pronounce it and the meaning, but I'll go through them individually. So the first one is Aotearoa, and Aotearoa means New Zealand, and that's what it means. The next one is Kia ora. And Kia ora means like hello, how are you, but it also sometimes means thank you, like if you drop something and someone picks up, oh, kia ora, like thank you. And then the next one is mōrena, and mōrena means good morning. So we often use this in like emails, like at the start of an email, like, oh, mōrena Susan, mōrena Greg, that sort of thing, just to say hello. And then we have kia kaha, and kia kaha means like you've got this, or yeah, kind of like you've got this. So after the earthquakes in Christchurch in 2011, there was like a big kind of campaign that went around saying kia kaha Christchurch, to say kind of like stay strong or you've got this. The next section is on sports, dance, food, and drink. So this team, I think most people are very familiar with this team, but if not, this is the All Blacks, and they are dressed in all black. And what they're doing here is a traditional performance called the haka, which is like a what they do before the match, and it's not really to scare off the opponent, but it's more of a kind of sense of unity, or like to show how strong the team is. I mean, it is kind of to scare them off too, but yeah. And on the right hand side, we have Dan Carter. He is a former All Black. I don't think he's an All Black anymore, but he was a kicker, and he at some point in time played for the Kobe Steelers, which is kind of cool. I put him on here because he's my favorite player because he looks kind of cool. So yeah. And then we have kapahaka. So kapahaka is a little bit different from the haka. So the haka is traditionally done by just men, whereas kapahaka has women at the front and men at the back, and they kind of sometimes they swap in and out, but usually the women are at the front. And you can see the white thing in their hands. That's not just something random. It's called a poi, and a poi is like a they use it for dancing, to swing it around and hit it against their wrist and throw it in the air as a part of, not throw it, but swing it around in the air as part of their performance. Yeah, and then the word for song in Te Reo Māori is waiata, and waiata, yeah, means song, so they sing along and dance along. Um, cool. And so the next slide is about food, which is great because everybody loves food. And this is called pavlova, and pavlova is like a giant meringue kind of cake sort of structure, and it has like cream on top as a base, and then we have like you can put any sort of topping on top, but usually like fruit or chocolate or something sweet. My favorite toppings are strawberry, banana, kiwi fruit, and chocolate. But you can see on the left hand side they also have like passion fruit and raspberries and blueberries and that sort of thing. To continue with the food and drink theme, we then have like Anchor dairy products. So Anchor is a very popular brand here in New Zealand, and they produce a lot of really like high quality dairy products like milk, butter, cream, margarine, that sort of thing. And the different colour bottles are to do with the fat percentage. So blue is the one that has the most fat, so it's quite creamy sort of flavour. And then we have the lighter ones like the light blue and green, which are more for like people who are a little bit more health conscious. And then on the right hand side, you can see the Anchor milk powder. So, Anchor milk powder is quite popular in the likes of China and India and Sri Lanka as well. So, we send a lot of that overseas to those particular countries. And so, sometimes if you look up Anchor, you can Anchor milk products. Sometimes the cans are in different languages, and I was like, it's because they send it to those countries for those people to enjoy. Alrighty. And so then next we have two animals that are very popular in New Zealand. So the one on the left hand side is the kiwi, which is also found on the dollar coin. And it is a nocturnal bird. So nocturnal means like awake at night time. So when everybody else is sleeping, the kiwi is up and about and moving around and doing its thing. Um, and then on the right hand side, we have some baby lambs. So when they grow up, they become sheep, but when they're little and small, they're called lambs. And New Zealand is known for having a lot of sheep. Um, and we have, I think, rumor has it, I'm pretty sure it's true, but that we have more sheep than we do people. I need to confirm that. I'm not too sure how accurate it is, but it seems very plausible or very like possible from my perspective. And yeah, and my last slide, or my second to last slide, is about Jacinda Ardern. And so Jacinda Ardern is New Zealand's Prime Minister, and she is very well known for being like a career woman, like having a job as Prime Minister, but also raising her daughter Neve. And then so you can see her in all the pictures. But then on the right hand side down the bottom, she was particularly popular in the media for her I wouldn't say that, maybe her reaction or her response to the mosque shooting in 2019. So in 2019 in March, there was a mosque shooting, and that heavily affected the Muslim community, both in New Zealand and overseas. And so Jacinda Ardern really kind of like led the way for in her response by being very like caring and warm-hearted. Um, but yeah, and so that brings me to the end of my presentation. I'm not too sure how many minutes I went
It,
for.
I think we're pretty good right now. I was just checking. I think the last slide there was still maybe a katakana mistake on the last name, but I think
Oh, right, yeah.
everyone will everyone will definitely be able to find her after on Google. So I'll just wanted to take a quick look at the comments. So thank you for the tip message, Mood79, who said, "Go for it, Megan." And Astrid Barbara said, the sign for New Zealand, oh, the I think it's the hand sign, is supposed to
Mhm.
look like the two islands, right?
Yes, that's correct. So you have the top. It's very like very simple. It's nice and easy for people to understand. So it has the top island is your right hand, and then you put the bottom island is your left hand at the bottom there.
Okay. And is it very common? Everyone speaks the language, the sign language there?
No, it's not very common, even though it is a national language. It is not like taught in schools like English is. Te reo Māori, on the other hand, is being brought back. So there was a time period where people were actually punished for using Te reo Māori in schools. But now the government has decided to kind of not do that and kind of trying to encourage it more in schools. But so that on that side, it's being more encouraged, but the sign language is kind of mainly used within the deaf community.
Hmm. I see. Oh, okay. And I think that's a comment that we had from Yuki that says "Oishiso desu ne." I think it was about the pavlova. That's right.
Right,
That's how
right,
you.
right. Yeah.
Mhm. How common it is to eat that? Is it something that people have for breakfast, or is it maybe for special occasions?
It's definitely for special occasions. It's a very sweet dish, so it uses a lot of like sugar and egg whites. So we use it. We mainly eat it at like Christmas time in the summer, like for like it's a popular like barbecue dish when you bring like someone will bring sausages and someone will bring meat and someone will bring a pavlova. Like it's a common like dessert dish in the summertime.
Okay. Astrid Barber said so cute. I think it was about the animals there. Comment from Black Lemonade that asked about the poi. What is a poi made of? Wool yarn?
Hmm. Yeah, so it's made, the string is made, it can be made from a lot of things, like, depends on the quality that you want to make it from. So they often have like wool, I think it's wool. On the inside, they
Mm-hmm.
stuff it, but you can make one in schools. Like when I went for like a school trip, we made them out of like plastic bags, like just like a normal plastic bag, and we just put like wool or something inside, and we stuffed it and tied it, and then we plaited some rope, and we tied like kind of like a braid, and then we tie it around, and you can kind of practice swinging around and learning some of the tricks and how to use it.
I see. Okay. Comment from Kyoko Ishimaru-san. 可愛いですね. I think it was also about the animals. Thank you, Astrid, for the tip message. Thank you for answering my question. No problem. We have also a question from Anthony. Is the camp car tour common? I think it's more about like tourism.
Is the what? Oh,
Uh,
the what?
ca- ca-
Sorry.
camp car tours. Maybe you don't
Mm,
have an idea there. If you're not a tourist, because you're not a tourist.
is the how do we spell that?
Camp car tours.
Camp card.
Camp car. I'm not too sure.
Mhm. I think that if you're not a tourist, it might be harder to answer. Cecile, a question from Cecile that asks, do many people make pavlova for dessert, or do they buy them from the store?
Ah, that is a really good question. So, a majority of people buy them from the store. So we have like New World or Countdown or like Pack and Save are like very common like supermarkets here in New Zealand, and so they sell them pre-made, and then you can just add the toppings to them. So like you have to buy the cream. You can buy pre-made cream as well, and then like strawberries and chocolate. But then some people, usually like middle age or slightly older, they like to like bake their own. Um, I haven't tried baking my own. I usually just buy it from the shop. But yeah, I think yeah.
I see. Great. I think that maybe we can move on. So you can stop the screen share and we'll move on to our next presentation. So, oh, I also saw the question from Saori san. What is the sound of the kiwi like?
Ooh,
I have
I'm
personally
not.
no idea.
I personally, I'm not actually too sure. That is a really good question. I haven't really seen. I've only seen one once, like in real
Mhm.
life. There's a zoo called Willowbank. And Willowbank, they have a special room for like the key, like a kiwi sort of room. It's really dark. Um, and we kind of like went as a class. We all kind of went in and had a look. But we had a look at them, but I'm not too sure if they're very vocal
That is
from
something that we'll have
memory.
to
Yeah.
check after too. Well, thank you. Thank you a lot for the presentation. So now we'll move on to the next one. Sharif, can you share your screen maybe?
Yes, of course. Okay, let me
Great.
just.
So now we're on to the second presentation. So about Australia. Thank you everyone for your comments. Do not hesitate to continue commenting, and we'll take a look definitely after the presentation.
Okay, just bear with me 1 second. It
Mhm,
should come up any second. Please let me know when it comes up.
mhm.
You should see a few guys wearing swimsuits. as a first slide. Let me know if you guys when you guys see that. Okay, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
You can see.
Yes. Can you put it on full screen?
Yes, I'll do that
Great.
right now. Okay, so maybe I can just start. So yeah, first, I'd like to give you guys a quick self introduction. My name is Shariff, and yes, I'm from Australia, from Melbourne. I've been living in Japan for 7 years now, and here in Tokyo, I'm a school teacher. I've taught every level: Eikaiwa, junior high school, elementary school, and at the moment, I'm teaching elementary school in Kitaku. And actually, this is my final year of teaching. From next year, I'll be opening an organic Australian organic store here in Tokyo and cafe
Wow.
called Boogies. And Boogies is my son's nickname. So if
Oh,
you can hear a baby in the background, that is my boy. So he's currently in the bedroom right now, playing around with his mom. And yeah, I hope it doesn't bother you guys too much. So yeah, and yeah, today I will be talking about my city where I grew up, which is Melbourne. As you can see here, this is one of the Melbourne beaches, Brighton Beach, and during Christmas, a lot of Australians, not me, dress up in Christmas, costumes and go to the beach. As you all know, Australia is the opposite season to Japan. So in summer we have, sorry, in Christmas we have summer. So a lot of people, a lot of families go to the beach and have barbecues and hang out with friends and family. And yeah, this is one of those pictures which I stole from Google. Okay, right. So let's continue on. So my first thing I'm going to talk about today is about Secrets of Melbourne is a burger restaurant called Easy's. Now it looks a little bit interesting. Let me explain a little bit. So these are train carriages from the 1980s in Melbourne. Now the company that created this restaurant bought this from the government, and they with their help, with their idea, because it's a really great idea, they were able to construct this restaurant using these train carriages, and they were able to use a lot of how it was a really big project. Actually, it was a lot of information was being said on the news, and it was a really big affair, and now it's become one of the most popular uh, like burgers. And let
I'm
me
sorry
share
to
another slide. So yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think you were still
yes.
on the first slide. Like we can see right now the first slide only. Are you on full screen maybe?
Oh really? Oh,
Yes.
I thought I shared it. Yes, I'm on full
Oh,
screen.
maybe that may be the reason why on our
All right.
side it's not full screen and it's still the first one.
Oh, sorry
Mhm.
about that. Okay, let me try it again. How about
Now it's the
now?
second one. It's not on full screen, but it's the second one.
Okay,
Otherwise,
should I try to
it is
put it back
okay.
on full
It is
screen?
okay to. I think the full screen might not work.
I
It's
see.
all
So
right the way it is. Mhm.
okay, so let me just okay. Is it okay like this? This kind of format
Yes,
is okay.
yes, no
Okay,
problem.
so let me continue. So this is the next. I'll just quickly show the next slide. Okay, so like I said earlier, it is a hamburger restaurant, but it's also a bar at night. It's very popular, especially in summer. And yeah, they invite a lot of street artists around Melbourne to come and do their work, do their murals around the train. So the design of the street art that you can see there changes quite often. And let's go to the final one here. And yes, this is like the inside one of the trains. So it's a very comfortable place actually. And well, like I said earlier, it's very popular with younger people, but of course, all ages are welcome. But you must make a booking before coming. Really recommend that because there's been some times where tourists have come here and they were unfortunately not allowed to enter because they did not make a booking. It's very, very busy, especially in summer. So please give them a call and then just yeah, let them know you're coming, and yeah, you should be fine. All right, and I recommend to come around just before sunset, so you can see the sun come down and enjoy your burgers and drinks. All right. So as you can see earlier, there was some street art on this train carriage. So the next place I'm going to introduce is Hosier Lane. Now, Melbourne is famous for many things, and of course, one of them is street art. And Hosier Lane is probably the most popular place where you can see street art. Now, like to let you guys know that street art is actually illegal in Australia, but there are certain places where the government and the police allow street artists to do their work, and this is one of those places on Hosier Lane, not far from central Melbourne, so it's easy to find. And these streets are covered with not covered with, but are surrounded by coffee shops, yeah, cafes and restaurants. So it's very popular amongst local people, and of course, yeah, many tourists come here and take photos, Instagram photos and things like that. And don't let the scene. It looks kind of scary a little bit, and I need to apologize about the resolution of the photos. Google has copyrighted a lot of the photos of Hosier Lane, so I couldn't download the better ones. So only these ones. So I'm really sorry about that. But this last slide here, it might look kind of scary, but please don't think that this is the very safe place of part of Melbourne. Actually, there are a lot of tourists here, and there's no, even though the street art might look a little bit intimidating and scary, but I assure you it's a very safe part of Melbourne. And this place is very popular with foreigners, and like I said, cafes and restaurants are in there, and really interesting ones too. I don't want to tell you guys what kind of cafes and restaurants is there because I don't want to spoil it. But if you are in Melbourne, I please check it out, and you will definitely have fun in the cafes and restaurants in here. You will find it very interesting. It's nothing like the cafes and restaurants you can see in anywhere in Japan. I promise that. Okay. And the next secret I will share with you is Moonlight Cinema. Australians love watching movies, and we like watching it indoors and outdoors. And this one here in particular is an outdoor cinema located in the Royal Botanical Gardens in Melbourne. So it's about a 20-minute tram ride from those central business districts or middle of Melbourne. It's easy to find. There's a bit of a walk though from the tram stop to the actual middle of the park, but you can get a map, and you can use Google Maps as well to find it. But once you're there, it's definitely worth visiting, especially in summer. It's really popular with mainly locals come here, to be honest, but it's starting to get popular amongst foreign travelers as well. And like the easies, you need to make a booking. You need to get your ticket before. You can't just come to the park and expect to get a seat because it's limited every summer, the places. This is one of the, again, I'm sorry about the resolution for the slide. It's a lot of the photos I couldn't download and share with you. This Moonlight Cinema is also family friendly, and of course you can bring your dogs. If you have dogs, no problem at all. And you can bring your own picnic, and you can buy your food as well there. So, and you can bring alcohol, and you can buy alcohol there. So it's a very, very nice place to spend time when you're in Melbourne. I guarantee you will enjoy it. Now, the movies that they show here is not the latest releases though. They usually show classics and occasionally some family movies during around the Christmas time, because a lot of families come over, and so they'll show some Christmas classics. But it's good. It's just good for the experience. You might not like the movie, but the actual atmosphere of the place is really good. So definitely worth a visit as well. All right, the next place I would like to share with you is a prison. Some of you might know this, some of you may not, but Australia used to be a penal colony of the United Kingdom of Britain. So they sent a lot of their convicted convicts to Australia and imprisoned them there. Now, Pentridge Prison was built as one of those prisons for those convicts, and it's apparently now haunted. So they turned the prison into a museum slash ghost tour tourist attraction. It's now closed, but so they've opened it up as a museum and as a restaurant. And I'll show you another slide here. Okay, again, not so good, but it's they refurbished it actually. So a lot of the interior is quite new, but the exterior still looks like its original form. So it's quite nice. And yeah, ghost tour. I've never done the ghost tour, but I have friends who has, and they said it's actually quite creepy because they turn off all the lights, and yeah, I won't say much because I want you guys to experience it. But yeah, definitely worth visit if you guys are into like ghosts and things like this, and something different for a traveling experience. I'm sure you guys will have fun. And this last slide here, these are the last two prison guards that was taken picture of before it was closed. Now, the last Australian criminal was hanged in this prison before it was closed. And apparently, there's some rumor that these two gentlemen here, these two guards, have committed suicide because of for whatever reason. And yeah, this last photo that's been shared around is apparently the last photo taken of them actually before they died. So kind of creepy. Sorry to share that, but yeah, it's an interesting place. I'm sure you guys would like it, and yeah, you can have dinner there. So just book if you have a free night in Melbourne, have one dinner at this prison place, hang around for the ghost tour, and yeah, enjoy. All right, and finally, the last place is a happy place. So I don't want to end with a sad, sort of scary story. So Curtin House is Melbourne's best and most popular rooftop bar. As you can see with this photo here, it's quite a nice view of Melbourne. You don't need to make a booking for this place, but you do need to come early, especially during summer. So when I mean early, like I meant like 5 p.m., like before the sun comes down, because by around 7 or 8 the security will pretty much close the because you actually come from the street on the ground level, and you take I think this is on the 30 something floor, so it's quite an elevator like ride, right? It's quite long, and it gets packed really quickly. And if you are one of those fitness ladies, you can also take the stairs actually all the way to the top. So some people actually do that. They don't take the elevator. They actually walk up the stairs, like 30 stories of stairs to get to the bar. But yeah, it's a great place to visit, have a drink in Melbourne and meet some people. It's very popular with both locals and foreigners. So you guys will have a lot of fun there. And in summer, it also becomes a cinema, right? Yes, Melbourne, Australians, we love watching movies. So this is another place where you can watch a movie as well. They showed the latest movies as well, so latest release, latest Hollywood film and whatever international film. And they also hold international film festivals, so it's very popular all year round. And if you want to watch a movie, movies are on special nights, so you need to go online and check which movie is on at what night, and then you need to buy your tickets online, and then yeah, enjoy that. They offer also food there and drinks. So if you want to drink alcohol, they have alcohol there, and popcorn, ice cream, and all those things you can eat. All right. So with that, that is my secrets of Melbourne. I hope you guys enjoyed that presentation. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you very
Thank
much.
Thank you. So, thank you a lot for your presentation. I'll take a quick look at our comments. So, Cecile said, "Wow, that's wonderful." I think it was for the first part with the restaurant. Astrid said the same. Whoa, a full restaurant in a train. It is indeed pretty impressive as a place. Um, Cute dogs. Can you take your pet to the cinema too? I think maybe you meant the indoor cinema. I guess that no.
No, on the indoor cinema,
Mhm.
the rooftop cinema, no, you cannot. You can take it at the moonlight cinema at the park. You can bring your dogs there, but no, not at the
Mhm.
rooftop part. No, no dogs there, unless you're a special needs person. If
Mhm.
you're a special needs person and you need a dog to move around, a guide dog, absolutely, it's welcome. Guide dogs are welcome everywhere in Australia. If you are special needs, yes, you can take your dog to every place. It's actually they're not allowed to stop you. If you have a guide dog, you can enjoy any place in Australia with your dog, but no pets. Yeah.
Great. And Cecile asked, "Do you need to buy a ticket to see movies at the Moonlight Cinema?"
Yes, you do. Yes, you have to buy a ticket online before you go there because you will be given like a QR code, I think, from memory, and then they will scan that, and then yes, and actually it's not very cheap either. So I don't want to tell you the price, but the Moonlight Cinema is a bit pricey actually. Yes, and there's also options there like you can hire a sofa, like a couch, like a bean bag, or you can bring your own picnic rug. So there's like extras on top of your ticket. So, and they also offer like wine package, and they'll give you your wine and cheese and things. There's many things there, but go online, moonlightcinema.com.au, I think is their site, and you can get all the information there.
Great.
It's worth one night in Melbourne.
I,
100%. You'll love it.
mm, I see a comment from Black Lemonade asking, is the prison restaurant popular? Do people enjoy the ghost tour?
Yeah, I haven't been to the ghost tour, but my friends has, and they said yes, it's the ghost tour is quite good. They didn't actually expect it to be good, but they turned out to be quite good. They did a lot of effort, the prison, to try and scare people. Not too much though. It's not like they're going to give you a heart attack, but it's quite good. Yes, not because also because apparently the ghosts do really, I think, exist there. There's a number of prisoners that died in that prison. So as you can
Oh,
imagine, the spirits probably still in the building, and yeah, when the lights come off, yes, you people do get scared.
great.
So
Well, not
yes,
great for the
that's
people, but
yeah,
not good for
but yeah,
them, but
it's an interesting experience. But don't worry, there's guards everywhere. Nothing's gonna happen to you, and they lock you up in the cells as well, apparently. So if you want an extra bit of scary
Mhm.
moment, yeah, ask to be locked up in a cell when they turned off the lights, and then yeah, it's
Great.
yeah, something different, right?
We have a lot of question about the prison. Coca BTBT is asking how big is the prison, and Akiko is asking where is the prison.
Okay, so the prison is in a suburb called Coburg, which is about a 20-minute ride from Melbourne, tram or train. It's easy to get there actually. You can Google map this place, and the prison is not that big actually. It's not that big. There's many bigger prisons there, but it's sorry, what was the other question? How
Oh,
big was it?
how big? Yes.
Yeah, it's not very big, and it's close enough from Melbourne to get there. It's easy. It's really easy. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can from there's a in the middle of Melbourne. It's the main train station in Melbourne is called Flinders Street, and Flinders Street has a tourist of information center. You can go there and you can ask them everything or anything you want that I spoke about tonight, and they will give you information about how to get there, the tickets, everything. So you don't have to worry. Just remember the name of the train station, which is Flinders Street. Just outside
Great.
Flinders Street, there is a very big tourist information. Yeah, you can go there, and they speak also all the languages. So even if there's a translating machine there, so if you're not comfortable with English, there's Japanese there too. So you'll
Mm.
have no issues.
And we have also one last question, I think, about the prison. Can kids go to the prison tour?
Yes, they can, but I think under 13 is not allowed.
Oh, okay.
I think please double check that. I don't
Mhm.
think so. Only because I think because it gets a little bit late, and normally as well with these type of things, just for safety reasons, they don't let kids come.
Mm.
Just you don't want to traumatize the children, right? So it is kind of scary. So they're trying to make it, I think, 13 and over. I think, but please do check.
Great. Well, thank you for your presentations. If we have any comments in between, please feel free to leave us question. Maybe I will ask first Megan and then Sheriff to also introduce both the lessons that you offer on Cafe Talk, and tell us a bit also maybe about your availabilities and others.
Should I go
Ah,
first?
yes, ladies first.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. Thank you very much. So I offer three classes on Cafe Talk. So I offer a Learn About New Zealand in English class, which is very, very similar to the presentation that I did today. I also offer like kind of customizable lessons that have to do with New Zealand in English. So when you book my lesson either for 30 or 25 minutes. You can say that you want to learn about the New Zealand education system, or New Zealand scenery, or New Zealand history, or that sort of thing, and I kind of tailor it towards whatever you would like to learn about. But I do everything in English for you. My second so there's two learn about New Zealand in English. One is 25 minutes, the other is 30 minutes. And then I have a general um, conversational English class. I think it's also 25 minutes. And so within that class, we just talk about everything and anything in English. I studied Japanese at university as my major, so I can do a little bit of translation if need be. But usually, I try to make the lesson mainly in English, and I do it through Skype, and we'll type the words and their meanings and check for pronunciation and that sort of thing in the chat box as we go along. So yeah, those are the main three classes that I offer.
Great. Can you tell us a bit, Sheriff, about your
Yeah.
lessons?
Okay. Yes. Of course. Yeah. Mine is very similar to Megan's as well. Mine's I think 3 as well, or maybe 4. But my main students are business English um, students. But I do also offer like lessons for people who are studying English, like not from scratch, but lower levels. That's fine. And I also have a free talk lesson where we can just talk randomly about whatever you want to talk about. So yeah, I cater for everyone. Mainly young adults to wherever that doesn't really matter. My eldest student is 75 years old, I believe, and she's really lovely, and she lives in Akita. So yeah, she's one of my favorites actually. So we just randomly talk about newspaper articles and things like this. And my youngest is like 18-year-old university student who's trying to improve her language skills. So yeah, anything between that and 8 is fine. And my lessons are 40 minutes, and I teach one lesson Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and again one lesson on Saturday and Sunday. I used to have more lessons actually, but since my son was born, I've been a bit busier, so I have to take care of him. But yeah, if you guys have some free time, yeah, please make a booking, and yeah, let's get to know each other better.
Great. Thank you a lot for the presentation. So I think that for now we are good with the comments too. So does anyone has a question? Maybe you both also about your presentation, or are we all good for now?
Actually, I have one question for Megan, if she doesn't mind me asking. I was really impressed with your like Maori, and I was just curious to know, are you also like a part Maori as well, or?
Not at all. I'm completely so I identify as New Zealand European. So my ancestors come from somewhere in the UK, like maybe two or three, maybe four generations ago, and so I identify as New Zealand European. But like I said, so in schools. So more so nowadays. So nowadays, I'm currently a teacher aide at a high school, and so the high school is really pushing it for the current students. But when I was in school, we did have like kapahaka groups, and we did have like we didn't have a haka group, but we had a kapahaka group, and we it was kind of taught a little bit in schools. I wouldn't say that my fluency is like very good at all, but I can understand like basic greetings, counting, um, like the bare minimum.
How would you describe learning this language? Is it something like, I know every language is difficult to learn, but would you say, as me and you who are English speaking background, is it relatively easy, or is it easier if you're coming from a different, like a Pacific Islander sort of language family?
Yeah, so actually the pronunciation is very similar to Japanese. So
Oh,
when you look at it, it almost looks like Romaji, like when you look at the like pronunciation. So sometimes even the Japanese international students that come to New Zealand, they have the little text and they can read it out. I mean, some things are slightly different. So some sounds together form different sounds and that sort of thing. So there is like that, but in general, the pronunciation is very very similar to Japanese. Um, so from English, it might be a little bit tricky, but yeah, maybe from the Pacific Island some of the Pacific Island languages, like Samoan or Tongan, maybe, to Māori would be kind of similar, and also from Japanese, the pronunciation, like Romaji, and from there to Te Reo Māori is quite similar too.
Interesting. Yes. Actually, yeah, I love your national anthem. So it's the one thing I really appreciate about New Zealand. Actually, I know a fair bit about New Zealand too, and yeah, it's a great country. And yeah, for everyone listening there, please do visit New Zealand. I think it's beautiful. One of the most beautiful countries I've ever seen is in South Island. Queenstown is so nice. Yeah. So yeah,
Mm.
thanks for that.
Thank you. Well, I hope everyone who's watching now has a lot of ideas and also spots to visit both in New Zealand and Australia. So I think that we are good for now. Thank you a lot, both for your presentation. It was very nice,
Thank you.
and we could learn a lot. Thank you, everyone who was watching too. And again, do not hesitate to take a lesson with both of our tutors. Their profiles are on the campaign page, and you'll be able to rewatch again the live stream once it is uploaded on the website.
Nice.
So, yes, thank you a lot both for your time, and
Thanks, Haifa.
thank you a
No
lot,
worries,
and
thank you.
thank you a lot, and see you very soon on Cafe Talk.
Okay, bye. Bye, Megan.
Well, bye bye, thank
See you
you.
guys.